So on my bike there, I've been using the Continental GP 4000 tyres for about 7-8 months or so, and they've been okay, but I have found that I've been getting a few punctures here and there. So as I'm going on a trip to Spain, I didn't want to be that guy who kept on getting punctures left, right and centre all the time, every day, every 3 or 4 miles or whatever, because I don't know what roads we're going to be going down, whether it's going to be single track or not. So what I've decided now is to basically make this bike into just a tourer. So big chunky tyres, pannier rack, handlebar bag, and just leave everything on there. Basically what I want to do is either build or look for another bike that I can just use for like a weekend warrior bike, and then not try and have one bike that fits all. What I decided to do is upgrade the tyres to these. So basically I've got the Schwalbe Marathons, so I thought I'd just go through what you're likely to get in the box when you get them, and if you get them, and then kind of what I found was the selling point of these as opposed to some of the other ones that were on the market. So as you can see, they're not folding, so they come in a massive box. I've got a steel like rim inside here, which you obviously can't see, but that's what makes it strong. I opted to go for the 32. The main reason was, just if I'm going to have a bike for touring, I want it to be nice and comfortable, so I can have run it at lower pressures and what have you, and less chance of getting pinch punctures. Things to note about the tyre: it's got a very nice, you see that? It's got a very nice tread on it, so because the compared to the GP 4000, which are just basically like a slick-ish tyre. So I'm hoping that this will give me lots and lots of grip. It's also got 3mm of I can't remember what they actually call the technology. I'll put it on the screen now, and it's like a puncture-resistant gel coating. So if you're familiar with gator skins, I presume it's something similar to that. Now these are the Marathon ones. They do have a Marathon Plus, and they've got 5mm of a similar material in it. So it was between this and the Pluses, but I opted to go for these because, to be honest, the reviews are epic for both of them, but these ones just are a little bit lighter, so a little bit better that way. They've also got, it's got like a reflective, on the outside there it's got a reflective lip. So what I'll do is I'll fit them and I'll take them for a ride, and then I'll just give you a little bit of feedback, what I think compared to the GP 4000s, considering these are a hell of a lot heavier in construction and they're a different size. Who knows, some of you might be thinking of going from 25 or 23 up to 28 or 32 if you've got the tyre clearances in your brakes. This bike's got long drop calipers, so I think this will fit. But anyway, let's go ahead and fit them and then see what they're like. One more thing to add, the tyres I've gone for are the Schwalbe 700C 28 and upwards. The ones I was running before obviously won't fit because they're for up to 25 or up to 28, so okay, so as you can see, this is the Continental GP 4000. I'd probably say, without being too scientific, that these are double the weight, I reckon. I'll find out how much they each weigh and I'll pop it on the screen. Okay, so it doesn't actually say on there if there's a particular direction, but I'm just gonna go with the direction that kind of where I think it would go, so the arrows are facing forwards. By the way, if you're wondering, the wheel set is a Shimano RS11. Just put a little bit of air in there just so it doesn't, you can see, hopefully it's not been twisted or anything. Okay, so now apparently this is where the thing gets tricky, because it's got steel rim around the outside. It's obviously not going to want to go into the lip, so essentially what you have to do, get the tyre wall over in as many places or as much as you possibly can around the edge. It's going to be difficult explaining this whilst doing it, but let's give it a go. So I'm just basically going round and making sure that both sides are in. So you should have one side that's already completely in, and then I'm just going around tucking the other side in. But now we're left with a bit here which is kind of stretching over, if you can see that. And essentially what we're going to do is get this side, so the side that's trying to get in, and push it off this little lip. So if you imagine the wheel rim being like that, if that makes any sense, essentially you don't want the rim to be on that shelf, so you want to push it inside so it'll be able to squeeze on the rest of it. Right, and there we are. So no tyre levers needed there. And as you can see, obviously it's not inflated, but it doesn't look too out of place on this tyre at all. Okay, again, I didn't do it with the other one, but it's always just worth checking that there's no sharp bits before you put a new inner tube in. The other thing just to consider is, which I didn't do with the first one, is I pumped it up before I put it in the bike, and it was a bit of a push to get it around the brakes. So this time, I'm going to put it on first and then do it. Okay, so with that done, there is quite a noticeable difference to the overall weight of the bike, but they look nice. I think they're really nice. It'll be interesting to see what it's like. But yeah, just from initially holding it, it does seem noticeably heavier. To be fair, the weight I've just added onto the bike, I could probably easily shave off myself just by cycling more. So I reckon what I'll do now is I'll just take it out for a spin and then just see if it handles differently, how it accelerates. I'll try and go up a pretty steep hill, but anyway, I can't go dressed like this, so let me just get changed. That's better. So fast forward about a month, I did go out for a ride after I'd fitted them, but unfortunately I forgot to switch my GoPro on, so didn't get any footage from that. But it's been about a month now with these tyres, and I've got some feedback that I think would be quite helpful in just managing your expectations and what you're expecting from going from a light tyre to like a more of a robust touring tyre. So what I would probably say is that expect a big difference in the beginning. So even though there's double the weight difference between them, I wasn't expecting such a huge shift, because before I'd gone from the giant tyres that came with the bike to the GP4000 tyres, and then going from that to these ones, I just found that acceleration was slow, a lot harder to keep the pace the same. I was considering changing back, but then what I did find is after a few days you do get used to it, after a few rides you get used to it. One thing I've probably learned from this is when people spend a lot of money on wheels to save like grams off the wheels, I can kind of see how that makes a difference, just going from a light tyre to a heavy tyre, kind of what you'd probably get from going from a light wheel to a heavy wheel, I suppose. Things I like, the tread is good, lots of grip, I like it. The durability, the 32mm width is really, really nice. Even fully loaded, but look down at the rear tyre and it's not even bulging at all. So it's quite a nice peace of mind to have, not like kind of worrying about pinch flats and things like that. So yeah, I think one of the key things is that I find that I'm just kind of more cycling in a straight line, not really worried about small little imperfections in the road so much, because I can just plough straight through them. Obviously potholes, you need to be wary of potholes, but generally speaking, it feels more like a workhorse. I would recommend them to anyone who wants a bit more durability, who's not that fussed about acceleration, because that will take a big hit. If it's a daily ride or it's a training bike or anything like that, I'd fully recommend it, because basically the harder this bike is to ride, when I get a nice lighter bike, I think the benefits I'll be stronger then because of the tyre choice on this one. So it's kind of a win-win all round, unless you want to do any racing on your bike. Then it's probably the wrong tyre choice, and you probably won't even be watching this video because you'll know that that's not the right tyre choice. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please do leave a thumbs up, and if you've got any questions, please do leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.